Hello guys, so today I'm gonna be sharing about how I learned how to love myself, why self-love is important, how I brought myself out of dark times, and how you can also do it for yourself. So I'm just gonna start off by saying that for so many years of my life, I neglected loving myself and I thought that everything that I needed was from the outside. I thought that I needed love from people. I thought that I needed people to be there for me and show up for me and meet my expectations just to have the life that is deserving of happiness and love. For a very long time, when I had a belief like that, I realized that I was at mercy of things I couldn't control. I always had a very roller coaster ride in a lot of my relationships, and I always had very delusional expectations towards people, and it never made me happy just because I thought that I never had enough and I was always needy of even more. In recent years, it has actually taught me that everything in your life is a projection of who you are and how you treat yourself, and the way people treat you is the way that you treat yourself. I actually started to detach myself from people and expectations and learn to be the one to show up for myself and take care of myself. So what exactly is self-love? Self-love to me is when we know that we are the only person who needs to take care of ourselves. We don't expect it from people, and also we know how to show up for ourselves emotionally and physically, and we also are able to trust ourselves enough when you are an independent person emotionally. The strongest form of self-love that has helped me heal from so many dark places was when I learned to love myself emotionally, and that is when shit happens, when obstacle occurs, when challenges come. I am the one to sit there and comfort myself and also communicate with myself to get to where I want, instead of when things happen I feel the need to reach out to a friend immediately. I need someone who is my comfort space. I feel like there is nothing wrong with that, and if you're in that phase, it's just literally a phase that everyone has to go through. But I feel like when I was very reliant on people and things to fulfill me emotionally, I could never be happy or enough. When you need someone to show up for you when you are sad, when people don't show up for you, you're gonna spiral in that victim mindset and think that you're even more upset right now. However, if you're able to love yourself and you shift from that kind of victim mindset to a abundant mindset of, I'm going through a hard time right now, so you know what, I'm not gonna spread this negativity to people. I'm going to sit down and cry on the bed and take my journal out and write things out and just be there for myself, to accompany myself instead of seeking from the outside. I only started to realize that, you can't expect those kind of things from people. If people happen to want to show up for you and people genuinely want to care for you, you can obviously accept that and be grateful for that. If you feel like that is your only way to walk out of dark times, I feel you are going to be a victim of your own life because you can't control how your situations are. If you are someone who loves yourself and is able to deal with hard times and hard situations, you're gonna find that you can change your life and you can be in control of things more and more. And that is a very eye-opening thing for me that I actually experienced these few years, because for such a long time I was very depressed and I was very traumatized by a lot of things throughout my years. However, now, instead of putting expectations on people and wanting people to meet my needs now, I'll much rather do it for myself, and I would have that new belief and mindset that when people don't choose to do things for me, there is nothing wrong with that, and people all have things that they're going through in their lives, and we also have more empathy and we have more understanding when things don't go our way. And that is also something that I'm still learning, so I'm very happy to be able to share my journey. So to summarize what I just said, I'm gonna put them down into a few tips on how you can practice self-love and incorporate it into your everyday lives for a happier and healthier version of yourself. So the first thing that I have is to create more me time in your everyday lives. So I feel like we're all very occupied with dates and sessions in our life that we barely have time for ourselves if we don't put in that effort. We often put in effort for people and we never put in enough effort for ourselves. Have more me time, for example, every morning, maybe before starting off for work or your routine, just have a 15-minute walk somewhere, or just have a 15-minute time to read a book. Reading a book or taking a walk is actually a very good way to connect with yourself, because when you're doing that, you are kind of silencing yourself out from the world and disconnecting yourself from others. So that is the first tip that I have. So the second tip that I have is to lower your expectations towards people and be the one to fulfill your own needs and desires. So this actually requires a lot of practicing, which is why on my videos I often have many tools, like how I practice journaling and how I practice many habits in my life to learn to lower down expectations towards people, because at the end of the day, people are also humans and they are just like us, and they are all dealing with their own trauma and hard times. So if we often only expect things out of people, it's going to be very tiring for us and others. So that is why I feel like it's very important. And when you know how to fulfill your own needs, you are going to be more confident as well, because you know that you can show up anytime you want for yourself instead of needing people to do that for you. So the last tip that I have for loving yourself is to accept yourself for who you are and be very gentle with yourself. So a lot of people, we try to be in denial of who we are because we can't accept that we are imperfect and we want to be as good as other people. So I feel like that was also a very huge part of my identity previously. I often compared myself to other people, and I often even compare my own growth with people. And however, I stopped channeling that kind of belief, and I started this new belief where, hey, I'm an individually unique person, so everyone's gonna have their own path and journey, and I'm gonna accept that I still have things to work on, but I will still be very willing to work on things instead of blaming myself and instead of judging myself all the time. Having a trust in yourself is so important, because anything that you do, you have to believe and trust before anything better can happen. And on my channel, I hope to empower people to have a more healthier and fulfilled life. I feel like we're here for a reason, and my form of happiness is when I can inspire people with my very own journey. So I hope that you guys can share your journey with me, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!